Hello and welcome to Code with Joe. In this tutorial I show you how to create your own ERC20 token on the Ethereum blockchain. And this is really simple, you will be surprised. But there are a few things that we need in order to get started. The first thing that we need is the MetaMask extension. You can get it for the Chrome browser, for Firefox and the Brave browser. In the Chrome Web Store. And in the Chrome Web Store, just type in MetaMask. And it's probably the first one that pops up, but just make sure that it says here more than 1 million users have downloaded the extension. Once this extension is installed, then make sure you set up an account and just follow the instructions that MetaMask is giving you. Just be sure that when you're asked to write down your private key, make sure you save it on you keep your private keys and your mnemonic passphrase safe, because anyone that has access to them has also access to your funds on your account. And the next thing that we need to do is we need to switch to the Ropsten test network. You can do this by clicking here on the round icon on the top right. And next to it is the button where you can select the network. By default it's the Ethereum mainnet, but for this tutorial we use the Ropsten testnet. And then copy here your address, and then we need some Ropsten testnet ether. You can type in Ropsten faucet into the browser bar, but all the links are down in the description. And here you just paste in the account address from your MetaMask account and click on send me test ether. Sometimes this faucet doesn't work. So be sure I can always send you some testnet ether. Just leave me a comment in the description saying I need some testnet ether with your Ethereum address, okay? And then I will try to send you some testnet ether as soon as I can. Once your account is funded, then we can start coding. The only thing that we need is the Remix Ethereum IDE, and you can get it from just type in Remix Ethereum and then just click the first link that shows up. Just make sure that you use Remix in HTTP and not HTTPS, because sometimes if you use it in HTTPS it might not work correctly. So just keep this in mind, because that can save you a lot of frustrations at the end if you try to deploy a contract and it doesn't work. The next thing that we do is, once we have our Remix IDE open, where it says here browser, click on create new file and then just create a new file. I call it ERC20. You can name this, give it any name you want. Just make sure the file ending is .sol, because this stands for solidity, and if it isn't .sol, then your contract will not compile. ERC20.sol, okay. ERC20.sol, I'm just using this one here. And then we can start coding our token, but we don't have to code much, because I already prepared a complete smart contract that you can just copy and paste. The link is in the description. It's on my GitHub. Copy the code, and then we can, so there's pretty much only a few things that you have to change. This is the contract name. In this case it's called Code with Joe, but you can change here this line to whatever you want. Call it tutorial token. Okay, This is the only thing that you need to change. I change it back here to code with Joe. And then down here where it says constructor public, you can set the name of your token. In my case, it's called code with Joe. Then I set the token symbol to, you can also set any symbol that you want. In my case, I set it to CWJ. And the default is 18 decimals, but you can also change it to 0 decimals. But this does, if you change it to 0 decimals, then you can only change a full unit of your token. So you cannot change, like if I have code with Joe token, I can only send one code with Joe token. So I cannot send half a code with Joe token. And if you leave it at the default of 18 decimals, then you can send 0.0 with 17 zeros and then one token as well. And this is what it means here at the total supply. So the total supply is, so you have to deduct here these 18 zeros, those would be the 18 decimals, and the rest of the number is the actual total supply in our human readable form. Like this would be, I think it's 1 billion token, 10, 100,000, 10,000, 100,000, 1 million, 10 million, 100 million, 1 billion token, and then we have 18 decimals. And this is the only thing that you need to do. On the left here you can go where it says Solidity compiler. Be sure the compiler version on the top here matches the compiler version next to Pragma Solidity. And then you can click on compile. This is here the file name that you compile. And if it doesn't throw you any errors, you can go down here. And we can start to deploy our contract to the Ropsten test network. The Ropsten test network is simple. It's great for trying out stuff if you want to test something, because it doesn't cost you anything, and if you make any mistakes, it's not really the end of the world. At least if you make mistakes here on the test network, it isn't expensive compared to the mainnet. If you make mistakes on the mainnet, then it always costs you real Ethereum. So, but we're going to deploy this here on the test network. We could also change this here by, if we want to deploy it on the main network, we would have to change here inside of our MetaMask account. We would have to change it to main Ethereum network, and the steps would be identical with the steps that I'm going to show you now. So once we have compiled our contract, we should see here the contract name. This is the contract function that I set up here. Was the contract name is code with Joe, and we're clicking on deploy. MetaMask should pop up, and we have to confirm the transaction. And it might take a couple of minutes. There we go. And once you see this green check mark here, that means the transaction is complete, and we have created our own token. I'm going to click this link here. This takes us to the transaction that we just created, and here we can see our contract. I'm going to click here on the contract. And we have our token live on the Ethereum test network. The token name here says code with Joe. This is the token name. We can see here our token symbol. We see the contract creator. So this was the address that we used to create this contract. This matches the address that we have up here. I'm going to connect here. The 0xB9, this is the same one. it matches this address. And here is the smart contract. So we can also verify the smart contract. This is also always recommended to verify the contract. I'm just saying single file here. Select the compiler version was 05 and the open source type, we just take the MIT license. We continue. Here we need to copy the code here and paste our smart contract inside. And we click here on I'm not a robot, verify and publish, and our smart contract, our token is also verified on the Ethereum blockchain. We can go now back to our contract. We can see here we have, okay, so let's go back here to transactions. So we have so far we have one transaction. This was the contract creation. We have here a contract with a green check mark now. We can see here our smart contract. This is exactly the same contract that we deployed. This is also a great way to verify if you interact with other smart contracts to see what the code does. So always make sure when you interact with a smart contract or with something on the Ethereum blockchain that it is verified. Here you can check on the read contract. You can read these functions. For example, this is the string of the token name. We have the total supply plus the 18 decimals. Here we have the 18 decimals again. We have our total supply. We have balance of if we want to query the balance of an address. I'm going to use my address because I'm holding all the token right now. And here we go, we get the output because, as I just said, I own all the token because I was the contract creator. This is the token symbol, and these are some safe mass functions that you actually don't really need. But they are here as well, but they are not really that important. Okay. Then the functions that are important are the write contract functions. So this is, for example, the approve function. If you want to use this your token inside of a different smart contract, then you would have to approve. The spending address, you can do this just typing in here the address that you want to approve and the amount that you want to approve it for. And here you can transfer your token. So I can transfer some token to a different address. I can show you this. For this, I'm gonna create a new account here. Create. Just copy this address. Go back to my